Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, August 27th, 2026. Today we'll go over the baseball, WNBA, and soccer. Look ahead to today in each sport. Little League World Series, NFL preseason, golf, NFL center rankings on this day, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start at baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. There was a lot of matinee games yesterday. Rays over the Tigers 3-0. D-backs over the Cubs 2-0. Reds over the Giants 10-9. Guardians over the Angels 4-3. Phils over the Mariners 6-0. Padres over the Pirates 3-0. Marlins over the Red Sox 4-0. Rockies over the Nationals 13-1. Yankees over the Astros 9-3. Jays over the Royals 3-0. Brewers over the Mets 8-1. Braves over the Dodgers 6-5 on a walk-off hit by Ha-Seong Kim, who was hitting .066 going into that at bat. Very crazy finish. Very deserving win for the Braves and terrible loss for the Dodgers. White Sox over Rangers 10-4. O's over the Cards 8-7. A's over the Twins 7-4. Not everybody's playing today. We only have 7 games today in MLB. 1 o'clock, Rockies Nationals. Gabriel Hughes, Jake Irvin. Nats minus 120, Rockies plus 110, over under 9.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Rockies plus 1.5 minus 100, Nats minus 1.5 plus 64, over. Easy. 2 o'clock, O's Cardinals. Trevor Rogers, TBD for St. Louis. O's minus 114, Cards plus 106, over under 8.5. Overs even money, unders minus 122. O's minus 1.5 plus 40, Cards plus 1.5 minus 170. I like the O's at minus 114. We just don't know who's going for St. Louis. That's just an easy play. 7 o'clock, Astros, Yankees. Hayden Wisniewski, Garrett Cole. Bad news for the Yankees. We'll get into that in news and notes. They're minus 150 favorites. Cole against his old team. Stros plus 140, over under 8. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Stros plus 1.5 minus 156. Yanks minus 1.5 plus 138. Under even money. Royals Jays. Noah Cameron and Spencer Argetti. Royals minus 108. Jays even money, over under 8.5. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Royals minus 1.5 plus 146. Jays plus 1.5 minus 178. That's a hard one, but I'm going to go with the Royals at minus 108. They're favored on the road, and that's telling. Brewers, Mets. Jacob Mizorowski and Sean Manaea. Ooh, the Miz. Brewers minus 10, Mets plus 192, over under 7. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Brewers minus 1.5 minus 122. Mets plus 1.5 plus 102. Ooh. Under 7 even money. This is a bet on the Miz. Dodgers Braves on Fox Sports 1 at 7:15. Yoshi Yamamoto, Chris Sale, excellent pitching matchup. Wow, Atlanta's favored, minus 118. Dodgers even money, over under 6.5. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 188. Braves plus 1.5 minus 230. So Dodgers favored on the run line, Braves favored on the money line. I'm taking the Dodgers on the money line at even money. And last but not least, 9:45, D-backs Giants. Jose Cabrera and Landon Raup. D-backs minus 110, Giants minus 106, over under 8. Overs minus 108, unders minus 112. D-backs minus 1.5 plus 152, Giants plus 1.5 minus 184. I like the Giants at home at minus 106. Alright, so there you have it for baseball. Now move on to the WNBA. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. The Valkyries over the Sun, 89-64, so best bet lost yet again. So much for a letdown. Storm over the Tempo, 90-78. 2 games tonight, 8 o'clock Prime Video. Liberty hosting the Valkyries. So now the Vals are on the second of a back-to-back. The Liberty should be favored. And they better be. Only 2.5. Total 162.5. Sign me up. Liberty. Minus the points. And 10 o'clock on Prime Video, Mystics Mercury. Mystics are 4.5. Total 167.5. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with the Mystics. So I think the 2 favorites win and cover today. All right, now move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. All right, Carabao Cup. Bradford City, Burnley, 0-0 draw. Bradford City wins 4-2 on penalties. Newcastle United over West Brom, 3-2. Tottenham over Charlton, 5-1. Everton over Preston, 4-0. La Liga, Real Madrid over Real Sociedad, 4-1. Leagues Cup, Toluca over Austin FC, 2-0. America over Columbus, 2-0. Women's League, North Carolina over Angel City, 2-0. Pro League, Al Fizali, Al Fateh, 1-1 draw. Al Diarra and Al Khaloud, 1-1 draw. Champions League qualifying. AEK Athens over Levski Sofia, 4-0, and they win 4-0 in aggregate. Fenerbahce over Lyon, 2-1, and they win 3-2 in aggregate. Slovan Bratislava over NK Celje, 2-1, and they win 3-2 on aggregate. And Viking FK over Dynamo Zagreb, 3-1, and FK wins 5-3 on aggregate. USL, El Paso over Pittsburgh, 2-1. New Mexico over Lexington, 2-1. League One, Naples over Union, 2-0. Conference League qualifying, Rapid Vienna, Hearts, 2-2 draw. Tied on aggregate, and Hearts wins 4-3 on penalties. Okay, so Carabao Cup. $2.30, Chelsea Luton. Chelsea minus 900, Luton 15-1, draw 7-1. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals minus 112. And at 3 o'clock, Fulham AFC Wimbledon. Fulham minus 750. Wilmington 13-1, the draws plus 650. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals at plus 106. We have a lot of Conference League and Europa League qualifying. I'm not going to pick them. I'm just going to go over them. Europa League qualifying at noon. Arat, Armenia, CSU, Karavoa, tied on aggregate. Iberia 1999 and Jagiellonia, Biaslak. Biaslak leads 4-0 in aggregate. Quano, Zalgiris, and Besiktas. Besiktas leads 3-0 in aggregate. And that's at 1 o'clock, and so is Little Storm and Ignatia, tied on aggregate. Amania, Nicosia, and Sint Turidense. Sint Turidense leads 1-0 in aggregate. RB Salzburg and Majalbi AIF. Salzburg leads 1-0 in aggregate. Victoria Plzen and Red Star. Red Star leads 3-0 in aggregate. 2 o'clock AGF and Benfica. Benfica leads 3-1 on aggregate. CSK, Sofia, and OFI Crete. Crete leads 3-0 on aggregate. FC Thun and Lech Poznan. Poznan leads 7-0 on aggregate. And 2-3 Anderlecht and Kairat Almaty. Anderlecht leads 3-0 on aggregate. And Ferencvaros and Travanspor. Ferencvaros leads 1-0 on aggregate. And then Conference League, 11 a.m. KOPS Quapo and Shamrock Rovers tied on aggregate. Noon, FK Karabag FC 20. Karabag leads 1-0 on aggregate. Jablonec Rangers. Rangers leads 1-0 on aggregate. Maccabi Tel Aviv and FC Lugano. FC Lugano leads 2-1 on aggregate. 12:45 AS Monaco and Groningen Zabrizi. AS Monaco leads 3-2 on aggregate. SC Freiburg Motherwell. SC Freiburg leads 3-1 on aggregate. 1 o'clock. FC Copenhagen and FC Inter Turku tied on aggregate. FC Fratic Kralave and Panathinaikos tied on aggregate. Energy Esclatus and Drita Glijan tied on aggregate. Paphos Dynamo City tied on aggregate. Ratko Chistawa and Hajduk Split tied on aggregate. Riga FC KL Klasovic tied on aggregate. SK Braun and Paok tied on aggregate. 2 o'clock Ajax Amsterdam FC Sion. Amsterdam leaves 4-2 on aggregate. Hapoel Tel Aviv and Atalanta tied on aggregate. St. Gallen and FC Nordjylland. Nordjylland leads 1-0 aggregate. Austria Vienna and Braga at 2:30. Braga leads 2-0 aggregate. Brock, Banja Luka, and Vikinger Reykjavik. Banja Luka leads 3-1 on aggregate. Brighton and Hove and Tromsø tied on aggregate. 2:45. Rijeka and FC Midtjylland. Midtjylland leads 2-0 on aggregate. 3 o'clock Hibernian KAA Ghent tied on aggregate. Larn and Lincoln Red Imps. Larn leads 2-0 in aggregate. Partizan, Belgrade, and Getafe. Getafe leads 3-1 on aggregate. Whew. There you have it for soccer. Little League World Series. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. Willemstad, Curacao over Leon, Nicaragua 12-3 in double elimination. Henderson, Nevada over Davenport, Iowa 14-6 in double elimination. That's a shocker. Elimination game, Tokyo, Japan over Vancouver, Canada 7-3. And the other elimination game, Hamilton, Ohio over Phoenix City, Alabama 11-2. And that's unfortunate. That girl is out of the Little League World Series. All right, 2 games. And their elimination games. Obviously, the winners go on to the championship. So, Nicaragua, Japan, the winner goes to the International Championship to play Curacao. I think Japan's going to beat Nicaragua. They're the better team, 9 o'clock on ESPN2. And then on ESPN is Ohio and Iowa. I know this team from Ohio has been really impressive lately. And obviously the winner plays Henderson. One of those studs better be up for Iowa. I think Iowa's going to win. So I think it's going to be Iowa, Henderson, and Tokyo and Willemstad for the international and world champions. All right, so there you have it for Little League World Series. NFL preseason tonight. We have a couple of games. 7 o'clock NFL Network, Steelers, Bills. The Bills are giving 3 points. And the 3.5 on FanDuel, total 34.5. I'm gonna take the Steelers getting 3.5. I think we're gonna see a lot of Drew Aller, and I think he'll play well. On Prime Video, Patriots Browns. Patriots are 2.5 point favorites, total 35.5. I'll lay the points. I think we're gonna see a lot of Tommy DeVito. I mean, the Browns should be the pick. But it's, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm going to lay it with the Pats. I think maybe we'll see Drake May in the beginning and then Tommy DeVito. Niners, Raiders. Raiders are 3.5 total 3.5. I'll lay with the Niners because I think we'll see a lot of Mendoza. And then 10 o'clock on NFL Network, Rams, Chargers. Chargers are 3.5 total 38.5. So the LA Bowl, maybe Super Bowl preview in the preseason. I think that's going to be an over possibly I think you'll see a lot of Trey Lance and a lot of Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson. So I do like the over in that game. All right, then now we have it for preseason. All right, now I'll move on to golf. We have another tournament coming up. Because of the time of the recording, I wanted to give out the golf pick today rather than yesterday. The Tour Championship from Eastlake Golf Club in Alabama. 11 a.m. Ryan Fox and Tom Kim, 11:12. Adam Scott, Justin Rose, 11:24. Robert McIntyre, Victor Hovland, 11:36. Alex Smalley, Alex Fitzpatrick. So I have the Alexes at the same time. 11:48, JJ Spawn, Min Woo Lee. 12:06, Patrick Cantley, Christopher Ratine. 12:18, Gary Woodland, Ryan Gerard. 12:30, Hideki Matsuyama, Ashke Bahita. 12:42, Russell Henley, Jacob Bridgman. 12:54, Rory McIlroy and Xander Schauffele. 1:12, Tommy Fleetwood, Lovey Gayberg. 1:24, Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa. 1:36, Siwoo Kim and Chris Gotterup. 1:48, Wyndham Clark, Cam Young. 2 o'clock, Matt Fitzpatrick, Scotty Scheffler. We know Scotty's the favorite, obviously. Tommy Fleetwood won this last year. The year before was Scotty. Hovland won it 3 years ago. 22 was Rory. And Sanjay was right there. And Scotty came back late. Or no, he fell apart. That's what it was. Cantlay won it 5 years ago. COVID was DJ. Part of me, if Rory is over 10-1, I'm going to pick Rory. Because you know Scotty's probably something stupid like plus 450. Oh, Rory's plus 950. I'm going to go with Patrick Cantlay at 16-1. Just to do something different. So there you have it for golf. NFL center rankings. So I did each team's projected starting center for the season. No, the Chargers center that was out for the season. Biotish, he did not make the cut because of his injury. So, without further ado, here we go. 32, Nick Allegretti, Commanders. 31, Sean Ryan, Packers. 30, Jake Slaughter, Chargers. 29, Kalen Rutledge, Texans. 28, Cade Mays, Lions. 27, Jared Wilson, Patriots. 26, Josh Myers, Jets. 25, Garrett Bradbury, Bears. 24, Robert Hainsey, Jaguars. 23, Graham Barton, Buccaneers. 22, Ethan Pochich, Ravens. 21, Ted Karras, Bengals. 20, Elgton Jenkins, Browns. 19, Blake Brandel, Vikings. 18, John Michael Schmitz, Giants. 17, Jalen Sundell, Seahawks. 16, Connor McGovern, Bills. 15, Cam Jurgens, Eagles. 14, Jolte Froholt, Cardinals. 13, Luke Fortner, Panthers. 12, Coleman Shelton, Rams. 11, Cooper Beebe, Cowboys. 10, Jake Brandel, 49ers. 9, Ryan Newsel, Falcons. 8, Zach Frazier, Steelers. 7, Eric McCoy, Saints. 6, Austin Schultman, Titans. 5, Luke Wattenberg, Broncos. 4, Tanner Bortolini, Colts. 3, Tyler Linderbaum, Raiders. 2, Creed Humphrey, Chiefs. And number 1, Aaron Brewer, the Miami Dolphins. I think this is the only time we're going to see a Dolphins player number 1 at its position. Aaron Brewer. He had a great year, and the best part about the Dolphins is probably their offensive line. But if they are intentionally losing, they might trade some of those dudes. Aaron Brewer. Creed Humphrey has a case for number 1 as well. He's been really good protecting Patrick Mahomes. Tyler Linderbaum's on a new team. He got the big contract. The last time I remember the Raiders giving a big money contract to an offensive lineman, it turned out to be a flop. Usually when a bad team overpays for a lineman, it turns out to be a flop, like Nate Solder on the Giants. There's that guy that was another Patriot that went to the Raiders. I forget his name. And he stuck too. I can't think of the player's name. But we'll see though. Bortolini on the Colts is really underrated. Wattenberg is on a loaded offensive line. Schlottman's on one of the more underrated offensive lines in the entire NFL, and that's, I think, a big key to Cam Ward being successful. They do need a lead from J.C. Latham. We'll talk about that more in the NFL season preview. McCoy's been a steady player on the Saints line for a while. Zach Frazier's young. He's only going to get better. Ryan Newsel and Jake Brendel, both solid centers as well. Cooper Beebe, you could make a case to be higher. Coleman Shelton's good too. So the center position is pretty good. All right, so there you have it for the center rankings. I'm going to do On This Day from yesterday, brought to you by All Sports News. I know today's is not out yet. So on this day, August 26th, so that was yesterday, 2020, Bucks boycott game, trigger NBA wide boycott. This came after the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So this was in the bubble with the Bucks boycotting their game against the Bucks boycotted their game against the Magic inside the bubble, and then yeah, that was a big deal. And then I think they started playing the next day. Yeah, there was a bunch of walkouts and whatnot. But there was a lot of teams that decided not to play their games on August 26th, and that was just really crazy. And then I think they and then the NFL 9 teams canceled their practices on August 27th. And then NHL players walked out of their playoff games too. But this was all started by the Bucks, just like COVID was all started by Rudy Gobert. But yeah, that triggered a lot of things, and then things went back to regular programming a couple of days later. I have a vague memory of that. And I remember it was a big deal. And I think social media overreacted to it. But yeah, 2020 was a crazy year with COVID and obviously the George Floyd and Jacob Blake. But yeah, and then the election at the end of the year. But yeah, that year was just crazy, and I almost forgot about the Blake shooting. I had to be like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot that there was an NBA boycott for a day. 2017, Floyd Mayweather defeats Conor McGregor. That was an iconic fight. I remember that fight vividly. And Julian Edelman tore his ACL from the Patriots. 2012, Seahawks named Russell Wilson starting quarterback. I remember they signed Matt Flynn from the Packers that offseason and overpaid him. But Russell Wilson beat him outright for the job, and the rest is history. 2022, Julio Rodriguez signs 14-year extension with the Mariners. 2013, Matt Harvey suffers partial UCL tear. That was brutal with the Mets. 2024, CeeDee Lamb signs 4 years, $136 million extension. Wow, he's probably going to end up getting paid again. Because that's midway through that extension rate. 2013, Tracy McGrady retires. I thought he retired sooner than 2013. 2020, Pacers fire Nate McMillan. 2018, Kendrick Morales homers in 7th consecutive game. I forgot Kendrick Morales had that home run streak. 2022, Seahawks named Geno Smith starting quarterback. In 2012, the Colts acquire Vontae Davis. Alrighty, so there you have it for on this day. Now I'll move on to the news and notes. So interesting stuff. Mike Evans to play week 1 as he plans to play an opener despite dealing with multiple camp injuries. Kenneth Walker injured by shoe issue, as Andy Reid says that Walker's ankle swelling is due to footwear. Oh wow, Ravens center Danny Pinter out for the year due to torn patella. Oh, that's that makes sense to why Ethan Pochich was listed as their starter. But Pochich probably was starting over Pinter anyway. How about this? Yankees executive Mike Pinsky to be a part of season 51 of Survivor. That's interesting. Hey, maybe Jeff Probst can throw out the first pitch at a game this year. That'd be sick. Jonathan Kuminga is signing with the Wolves. 2 years, $13 million deal. I like that signing for the Timberwolves. And that is not great for the Lakers, who were dying for him. LSU didn't vote on penalties. The school abstained from voting on punishments for teams that sign NFL players. Big 12's ADs agreed to ban pros as conference looking to outlaw professional athletes from returning to school across all sports. That is a thing that everybody's doing. I think the ACC's next. The NFL to end the Pro Bowl, as the league will hand out yearly honors but won't hold All-Star game. That's the right call. Nobody cares about the Pro Bowl. Bad news for the Giants. Calvin Austin tears his ACL after leaving practice on Tuesday. That's a blow for the Giants offense. They looked at him as a downfield threat. Adam Shine was acting like it was if the Cowboys lost George Pickens. Calvin Austin's not that good, but I think he would have been a decent fit on the Giants. I think maybe it was one of his favorite players. But yeah, big blow for the Giants. It opens the door for one Odell Beckham Jr. to make the team. Cam Scadaboo started a fight as he upset defensive teammates after almost taking out legs of defensive backs. He just plays really rough. And then John Harbaugh says that Odell had his best week of camp ahead of roster cuts. NFL's new disciplinary rules is players will be suspended 1 game for committing 3 offensive and 5 health and safety categories. Wow. That is a interesting rule. I wonder what players are triggering that. Blues prospect Matthew Mayich hospitalized and is undergoing medical treatment after collapsing during workout on Thursday. That's not cool. Clippers guard Jordan Miller to miss time will be reevaluated in 6 months after rotator cuff surgery. He'd probably just stay a rotation bench dude. Xavier Lee is going to Gonzaga. He's seeking a 5th year of eligibility for 26-27 basketball. The Dreamers signed Dewana Bonner after she got bought out by the Mercury. Fever Sky drew 3.31 million viewers. It's the most watched regular season WA game since the inaugural season. Van Lith gets a 7-day deal as she'll stay with the Sun while Leela Lakin heads for FIBA World Cup play. SEC punishments for pro rules, half-season suspension for head coaches among penalties. Wow. We talked about Hassan Kim of the Braves with the walk-off. We talked Little League World Series. Whoa, the Buss brothers buy Padres stake as Joey and Jesse Buss join new ownership group with the Padres. That's interesting. They go to a different sport. That's gonna spice up that rivalry with the Dodgers for sure. Celtics likely to retire number 7 for Jaylen Brown after the title. That's what Brad Stevens says. I think that's I know they want a title, but that... And he was the Finals MVP, so I kind of get it. But, I just still think Jason Tatum's a better player. Other than the Lakers, the Bulls and the Blazers pursue Jonathan Kuminga as he preferred a shorter-term deal. Steph Curry extension expected soon as they have a usual desire to make Steph a lifer. they're probably going to sign him to the Lakers Kobe contract. TJ Friedel and Eugenio Suarez are on waivers. We'll see who can claim them. And I kind of forgot about the waiver deadline. I mean, Justin Verlander, the 1 year, stands out the most. That was the most impactful one. And obviously Josh Bennett. When that came up on this day, that's what reminded me about that. I was like, oh, yeah. Michael Jordan Dunn on NBC as he's not expected to return to the network. The Pelicans signed Ben Mathurin 2-year deal for $16 million. Draymond Green doesn't believe that Klay Thompson will adjust well to Heat culture. I don't know how that's going to work because Klay moves to the beat of his own drum. Huh. Roki Sasaki to the injured list, 15-day with the blister. Eric Lauer will take spot in rotation. Bo Bichette had a foot contusion as he was replaced on defense in the 5th inning against the Brewers. Roger Goodell says the league is looking into whether to punish Jed York following his arrest. And then Goodell on the other, the Pro Bowl, believes the game is not up to NFL standards. The NFL and the Players Association announced Behavioral Health Network for mental health assistance. Don't hate that. Tua to start the preseason finale as Kevin Stefanski says Michael Penix won't play despite returning to practice. And the Titans $28 ticket promo as they're honoring Chris Johnson to generate money for ALS research. Okay, so there you have it for news and notes. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I like I'm going to bet on Garrett Cole. I'm going to go under 8 even money Stros Yankees. I'm going to say the Yanks win it like 5-1. And they won't go all out like they did the last 2 games. I think their offense their offense has been good their last 2 games. 16 runs in 2 games, but I think they fall off a little offensively. Looking ahead to the Red Sox, but they still win anyway, maybe like 4-2 or something like that. 4-1. All right, so there you have it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow with a big show, recapping everything like that. Everything tomorrow. We have college football week 0. I might do the first Fab 5 of the year, so stay tuned for that. And then NFL defensive tackle rankings we'll do on tomorrow's show. We'll obviously have NASCAR, Golf, Little League World Series, and WNBA, and so much more. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.